How exactly should a Christian vote? Oh man. Recently I said that y'all could ask me anything, and a Christian named Tim responded with this simple question. Pastor Mike, how should a Christian decide who to vote for? When I heard Tim's question, I immediately thought of my dad. My dad's name is Tom, and even before he started coming to our church, he always had this advice for his pastor son. He said, Mike, never, ever, ever talk about politics in church, because whatever you say, 50% of the people are going to be ticked at you. Actually, in his real quote, he used a little bit stronger language than that, but maybe get my dad's point. Man, we live in a world where as soon as we get into politics, as soon as we talk political parties, as soon as we mention the names of specific politicians, the tension in the room is up to 99 from the start, isn't it? It is so hard, I would say even for Christian people, to produce the fruit of the Spirit, to be gentle and kind and patient, to be loving and joyful and peaceful. There's just something about the political air, the kind of news, the tone, the tenor that makes it really hard to be a Christian when it comes to political things. So I want to ask you just for like 2 minutes of your time to take a deep breath and listen to the Bible's answer to this question. You know, in Bible times, you couldn't vote. They didn't have democracies. You didn't cast your ballot for whatever Caesar you wanted. It wasn't that kind of world. So there's not an apples to apples comparison in the scripture. But what the Bible does give us is the goal that God has for the government. What does God want the state to do? And the answer is in a couple places in the Bible. Here's a really clear answer in 1 Peter chapter 2. Peter says, "Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to the emperor as the supreme authority or to governors," listen to this, "who are sent by God to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right." What does God want governors or emperors or all those with authority to do? They're supposed to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. They're supposed to punish the guilty. They're supposed to protect the innocent. There's a one-word summary for this concept. It's called justice. How does a Christian know who to vote for? My simple answer is when I step into the voting booth, I am looking for the candidate who, the best of my knowledge, supports maximum justice. If I can tell from like present policies and past behavior, is this a politician who punishes all of the guilty? Or can some of the guilty people get away with it because they have connections or money or bribes or promises? No, I want a politician who is just. I don't need my politician to preach sermons. We leave that to the pastors and the churches. I don't need my politician to like read the Bible to me in every political speech. No, what I want my politicians to do is what Peter is asking politicians to do, is what God sends politicians to do, to punish all of the guilty and to protect all of the innocent. I don't want there to be favoritism or racism or sexism. I don't want any bribes. I don't want a corrupt system of justice. And obviously we live in a broken world. How do you know this is the part that drives us to our knees in prayer? And we say, God, help me to do the work, to be a good steward, a good manager of the privilege that we call a vote. Help me to study as best as I can, not to be influenced by the promises made to me. No, I want to vote for someone who pursues maximum justice. So what you should do is look at a political party, look at a candidate, compare as best as you can, and just step back and ask yourself, who is the most just? How does a Christian know who to vote for? They open their Bible, they read God's job description for the government, and then they vote for maximum justice. Hey, thanks for listening to Taboo Questions with me, Pastor Mike Novotny. You can find even more questions on timeofgrace.org/taboo questions and in my book entitled Taboo, Topics Christians Should Be Talking About But Don't. Just look for the link in the episode notes.